I am going to demonstrate for you your perspective quiz that you have Wednesday, September 16th. So as I begin, I'm going to look to see what your quiz is going to ask of you here. And you're going to be drawing two boxes in 1 point perspective, one closed and the other with an open panel on one side. Use the same horizon line and vanishing point for both boxes and label the horizon line and the vanishing point. So I'm going to start off with my horizon line. I already drew it, but I kind of feel like that pencil is a little too light to be seen in the video. So I'm going to just redraw it with a pencil I think is going to be seen a bit bolder. That's a little bit better. That's my horizon line. I'm going to label that HL for horizon line. That's all I will need you to do. And then I'm going to put my vanishing point. Remember, this is 1 point perspective, so there's one vanishing point. And we need to have two boxes. In the instructions, I will say to have one above the horizon line, and then I'll have another one below the horizon line. And the one above the horizon line, I'm going to choose to have the closed box. So remember, in 1 point perspective, all horizontal lines are horizontal and all vertical lines are vertical. So I'm going to begin by making my box, which is going to start off as a square, of course. We will turn it into a box. Does not need to be a perfect square. It also does not need to be precisely a perfect, beautiful rectangle, but it does need to have as close as possible vertical lines vertical, horizontal lines horizontal. And then remember, we're going to take all four corners to the vanishing point. Okay, so now that all four corners are going back to the vanishing point, we've established some side panels, but currently the side panels are continuing all the way infinity to that vanishing point on the horizon line. So this is the part where I get to cut off the box wherever I want to. So I'm going to start off with this side panel, and I'm going to cut him off right here. Remember, as I cut him off, the line to cut him off needs to be horizontal, or I'm sorry, vertical, just like this line is vertical. They're going to correspond. Just like that. And then from there, you see how this is a corner right here. From here, I'm going to cut off the box horizontally, because this line that I just drew right there corresponds to this corner right here with the box. Now I can keep going here. So I've got this panel of my box, got this intersection I've made. I'm going to go straight up because all vertical lines remain vertical. I'm going to stop right there because this is the panel I'm creating. And then pretty closely, I should be able to take a horizontal line. Oh, let's do this here. And connect those. Oh. It's running a little bit into a tangent with the line that I had right there, but hopefully you can see what I was doing. Let me grab an eraser. And just for sake of being clear, I'm going to redo this so that you guys are not confused with something that runs into something else. Okay, so that's my front panel. I'm going to bring this guy up to here. And, oh, I just accidentally flung my paper with my ruler. Okay, let me, yeah, just for sake of illustration here, we're going to do this. Okay, so that's my back panel. This is my side panel right there. This is the front facing panel. Oh. This is my left side panel right there. And then this is my bottom panel right there. Okay, so this would be a completely transparent box that is going back in 1-point perspective. To make him closed, that would mean that the sides of the box that we are seeing are opaque. The box will be opaque and he will be closed. No panels will be open. So in that sense, we would not see this corner, this back corner. That's the corner that's away from us. We would not be able to see that. So I'm making him dotted. We would be able to see this panel, this under panel, but we wouldn't be able to see this back corner. And we wouldn't be able to see this guideline either. Okay? We would be able to see this, and this, and this. We would not be able to see this back corner of that inside upper panel. And we also would not be able to see the extension of that corner back there. We would be able to see, like I said, this corner that's out in front of us, this edge, and this edge, as well as this bottom edge that I mentioned before. And then all of these guidelines that continue back to the vanishing point, we would not be able to see in reality either. So you can see, if I were to make this box opaque, this is the front panel, this is the side panel, and this is the bottom panel that we would see, and everything else inside we would not be able to see, which is why I made all of those inside edges and corners dotted. So that would be for a closed box. Let me show you real quick something you can do with a closed box that can be a shortcut. And this is if your brain thinks this way. I'm going to start off with another square. Okay. Now, at this point, if your brain thinks this way, you can think through which corners do I know I'm going to see coming back to the vanishing point. This corner, we would be able to see that panel go back to the vanishing point. This one as well, because that's going to be the bottom corner that we would be able to see, and this one. If your brain can think in this manner, you should be able to know that this corner would not, it would go back to the vanishing point, but we would not be able to see it. So as a shortcut, and what I will allow you to do is for your closed box, you can bring the corners that you know will be seen all the way back to the vanishing point, and you can omit the corner that you know we would not be able to see in reality because he is in the back behind. Don't forget to chop off your box wherever you want. I'll make him really long. Boop. And remember all lines being vertical and horizontal, so make sure you compare that to the horizon line you have, because sometimes it can look off kilter. And that would be an acceptable closed box. I will accept for your quiz as well. You don't need to show all of the work for that, but you do need to then be aware which corners would we be able to see in reality. Don't forget to erase or make dotted. Don't completely erase. I do need to see your work, but I would like to know that you understand which lines we would see in reality and which ones we would not, but are mere guidelines. So now let me show you your open box. Remember, it's going to be open on one panel, and I'm going to do this below the horizon line. Oh, I just made a mark on my paper. Here we go. Remember, you always start off with a square or a rectangle. I'm going to cut them off right there. Erase this and this, just to make them nice and neat. When it comes to a box that is open on one panel, you do need to take all four corners back to the vanishing point, just like I did with this box right here. And now we need to chop off the box, the panels that we know we can see. So since my eye level, remember, is horizon line, so I am looking down upon this cube, this really long rectangular prism currently. So this top plane I know I'm gonna see, so I need to chop him off. Remember, it's however big or small you want to chop him off, okay? It can be really long, really short. So now that I've chopped him off there, this is now the edge of that corner, so I need to chop him off down here as well, keeping my line vertical. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to continue doing that because of this intersection right there, that corner. He needs to come down to make that panel. And then these will connect with a straight line across them as well. So there we go. And now I need to determine which panel do I want open on my box. Let's say I choose this front panel that's facing me. What I would be able to see then is this inside left wall. I'd be able to see the floor. I would also be able to see this back wall right there. And assuming that all the panels are opaque and just one panel is taken off, I would then not be able to see anything that is here, except the edge that designates the panel edge itself, which are these right there. And then on this side, if this is the panel that's open, I would not be able to see this line either because this outside wall right here is opaque, would not allow me to see in, just like that. One other line I would not be able to see is this guy right here. This is a guideline that helped me bring him back to the vanishing point, so I need to erase, make dotted that line as well. So what I have here then is something like this. See how it kind of looks like the interior of a bare room or just the inside of a box. And then I would erase to make dotted those lines that I would not be able to see in reality. So this would be how I would have an open panel with my box that is opaque everywhere else. I just happen to choose this front panel that's facing me. If I wanted to do a different panel that's open, let's say I wanted to open up this top panel, then I wouldn't be able to see anything right in there because if this is opaque, I would not be able to see anything here, but I would be able to see this corner coming down. And then I wouldn't be able to see anything there either. I'd be able to see this wall and this wall as well. So hopefully that makes sense to you. In like manner, if I wanted to open up this panel, I would be able to see this, that corner, that inside corner, and I wouldn't be able to see anything else. It would just be that. So it really does depend on which panel you have open. That's going to be the inside corners you will be able to see. That's why it's important to take all four corners of your initial square back to the vanishing point and then chop off the back of all four of those corners for the back of your cube so that you know where those intersections are, so you know where the inside edges and corners are that you might need to see depending on the panel that's open. So quickly, let's do part 2 of your quiz. Part 2 is going to be 3 closed boxes, and they're all going to be on the same vanishing point. So I'm gonna have you flip your paper over. Please do your quiz on a piece of printer paper or sketchbook paper so that you have room. Don't do it on a 3x5 card, so just be aware of that. This again is your horizon line. Oh, I forgot, I think on the one before, yep, got to label a vanishing point. All right, so we've got our horizon line. I'll do my vanishing point over here. Remember, you can choose where you put this stuff. So let me do a square up here because there needs to be one above, one on, and one below the horizon line. And remember, for this part of the quiz, all of the boxes are closed. So remember the shortcut you can do for that. When it comes to this square, to the right-hand side of the vanishing point, the corners that are on the left are going to be seen, not the one on the right. Won't be able to see that. So as a shortcut, you can take just the corners that we see. Chop off the box. And that is one of your closed boxes for the assignment quiz. Make dotted those lines. We would not be able to see them in reality. Let's now do one on the horizon line. What that means is some vertical line of your box needs to transverse the horizon line, needs to cross it. Okay? Now, when it's directly on the horizon line, which corners would go directly to the vanishing point? It would be this guy and this guy. Just for sake of illustration, I am going to show all 4 of them go back to the vanishing point. Remember, your closed box is opaque. You will not be able to see through it. So in that case, now we need to chop off the box here. So I'm just going to chop it off here. So this is my side panel right here. So as you can see, we would not be able to see those corners, those far corners on the other side. We would only be able to see this side panel of the box and this front panel of the box. So knowing that, and knowing that the box is opaque, I'm going to make dotted the guidelines that go back to the vanishing point. Don't erase your horizon line except for the part that's covered by the box. Don't forget that. If the box is opaque, we would not be able to see the horizon line through the box. Making that dotted. All right, so that's going to be the box that will be on the horizon line. Do not place the box that's on the horizon line. Don't put it directly over the vanishing point. Okay, I will not accept that, because if you do that, then all the 4 corners are going to go back this way and we wouldn't be able to see any of them. So then effectively you'd only be giving me a square. Don't do that. Have your boxes somewhere off to the side from the vanishing point. They don't have to be super far away, but they can't be directly on top of the vanishing point. So no smart business. Okay, we've got our 3rd closed box, which will be below the horizon line. I need a better eraser. This is not working very well. And there we go. This would be part 2 of your quiz for tomorrow.